Welcome to the 2002 World Rally Championship, one of the toughest, roughest, most heartbreaking seasons in the championship's history. This weekend sees the 9th round of the series, and after 4 back-to-back car breakers, this time we're on one of the smoothest, fastest and most spectacular rallies of them all, the Rally Finland. Smooth it might be, but it can still catch out the unwary. After round 8 in Kenya, the World Rally Championship returns to Northern Europe for round 9. Rally headquarters is the university town of Jyväskylä, around 300 kilometers north of Finland's capital Helsinki. But, however you say it, this rally's really famous for one thing.
Nöppehüppa, sat, boss, jump.
These days, those jumps aren't nearly as scary as in the 1970s and 80s, but the cars still spend a long time in the air. Getting your wheels back on the ground is a priority.
But sometimes you are flying a little bit, yes, of course, because of the speed.
If the car moves too much over the jump, then you're out of control.
Only 2 non-Scandinavians have ever won here, the Finns proving almost impossible to beat on home ground. In recent years, 3 Finns have dominated the event. Tommy Mäkinen won it 4 times in the late 1990s and tackles it for the first time in a Subaru this year. Juha Kankinen has won it 3 times, most recently in 1999, and is in a Hyundai Accent this year. Finally, the winner for the past 2 years is Peugeot's Marcus Grönholm, the current championship leader.
Okay, it will be hard fight, I think, and it's not so easy, but okay, I think we have a good chance.
One of the 2 non-Scandinavian winners is Carlos Sainz, who knows just how tough it is to beat the locals.
The finish here is not easy. You need to be very confident with the car, you need to have very good feeling with the car straight away.
Sainz's teammate is Colin McRae, whose best result in Finland was 2nd place 2 years ago. Winning both the last 2 rounds, however, means his confidence is sky high.
I think it would go down as one of the best results ever if we won the year, because it is the toughest rally to win. But this year I've got more confidence than ever before, and we're starting thinking of a win rather than just thinking of getting a good result.
But the dark horse could well be Estonia's Marko Martin in the 3rd Ford Focus, his first World Rally victory, surely not far off. The strongest lineup, however, belongs to Peugeot, who not only have Grönholm and the reigning world champion Richard Burns, but 2 more Finns hungry for victory. Harry Rovanpera's regular co-driver, Risto Pietalainen, is recovering from an operation, so Monto Silander comes out of retirement, while the team's newest signing is Juuso Pukalisto, who will drive the 4th 206. Another rising Finnish star is Jani Parsonen. He joins Francois Delacour and Alistair McRae in driving a brand new WRC2 Mitsubishi Lancer. Super Cat 2 Zara's here for Sweden's Thomas Rodström, 3rd in Kenya, and France's Sebastian Loeb, who finished a superb 5th in Africa. Skoda also have 2 Octavias, driven by Henrik Eriksson and local hero Tony Gardemaster. Missing from the entry list, though, is Jules Panizzi, who broke his shoulder after falling in his gym at home. That accident may well have cost the Frenchman any chance at the title, since he may also miss the next 2 rounds. Germany, the newest event in the championship, and the Rally San Remo in Italy. The year's final 3 rallies are all on gravel, New Zealand and Australia in the sunshine. And then the final event, the championship's traditional sting in the tail, the mud and rain of the Rally Great Britain. So there's still a long way to go until the 2002 World Champion is crowned. This is how things currently stand. Marcus Grönholm's lead over Colin McRae down to 7 points, with Carlos Sainz 3rd. Tommy Mäkinen is alone 7th, and knows a 5th title is slowly but surely slipping through his fingers. Peugeot still have a 14-point lead in the series for manufacturers. Subaru are a long way down, but they're not quite out of the battle yet. And so, to battle, with a head-to-head super special stage getting the Rally Finland underway. For the record, it was Richard Burns who was quickest on the stage, but that was just the appetizer. Day 1's 8 forestry stages and then a repeat of the super special, 128 kilometres in all, would then be the main course. Stage 2, Valkola, was the first of those proper stages. The virtual spectator overview gives an idea of where the road goes, but it can't convey the incredible speeds. The cars would complete the 8.4 kilometres in only around 4.5 minutes.
For me, it's completely new, the last one. Well, I have never been there.
Championship leader Gronholm and co-driver Timo Rautiainen were first to tackle the stage. In Kenya, they'd retired on the opening stage and were determined not to repeat that disappointment on their home event.
Ja vasen täysylinypyn. 100. Ja oikein täysylinypyn. Ei uskalla oikein jarruttaa loppu 8. Ja oikein täys. 200. Mennä maalia.
That then was the benchmark, the time the others would have to beat. Next into Valkola were Colin McRae and Mickey Grist, who knew they'd have to attack the Finns right from the start.
Into 6 left over crest, opens 50, 6 right over long crest, into long 6 right, and 6 left to stop.
2.5 seconds slower, not a bad start, but it was already clear that Gronholm was setting the pace. Carlos Sainz and Luis Moya were just 5 seconds slower than their teammates, but it was only the 11th quickest time. Such was the speed of the men around them.
Izquierda rápidamente, se cierra poco, acaba bastante fondo, 3. Derecha rápidamente, se cierra poco y ras, con fe, abrirse no largo. Derecha, buena más en quinta, se cierra ras, 2.
All the cars are sporting new, experimental small number plates on their doors for this event. The smallest number of all was the number 1 on Richard Burns' Peugeot, but he and Robert Reed wouldn't repeat their stage win from the Super Special. 5th fastest, the pair dropped to 4th on the leaderboard. In all, there were 4 Peugeots in the top 5 times. New boy Juuso Pukalisto was 4th, quicker than Burns, while Rovanperä and Silendo was 2nd fastest, just under 2 seconds slower than Gronholm. But the stage wasn't such a happy hunting ground for Subaru. Petter Solberg was 6th fastest, but Mäkinen was well outside the top 10. As the Impreza crosses the finish line, the clock will tell the sorry story.
Varo lyhyt oikein eri. Heti Koovasen plus älä oikaise kapea kivi ulkona 5. Minun pitkä oikein eri. 4 maali.
So no Mäkinen on the rally's first leaderboard. Gronholm and Rovanperä first and second meant the Finnish fans were happy enough though, with Colin McRae's Ford the only non-Peugeot in the top 4. Behind the leading group, Sainz lay 7th, although the top 12 were separated by less than 10 seconds. Stage 3, Lankama, was the longest of the first batch of 3 at nearly 23.5 kilometres. The unblinking Marcus Gronholm was again on the pace, to the delight of his loyal fans.
Helppo pidä sisällä. 8. Oikein täys. 100. 5. Ja nyt oikein helppo. 200. Ja nyppy täys.
But he was only 2nd fastest, losing nearly 2 seconds to the charging Richard Burns.
To left max 80, press 30, right max in 60, easy left minus in and easy left 100, slight left to slight left 50, flat right in to flat right to slight right to slight right 300.
Peugeot drivers in fact set all of the top 5 times. 4th quickest was Rovanperä, his battered rear bumper suggesting that his lines through some of the corners must have been a little wider than he'd have liked. To Tommi Mäkinen's dismay, he was only 10th fastest. He felt the Subaru was going well, so was amazed when he saw the times being set by the French cars.
Minun pitkä oikein nopea mies. 3.
Peugeot's newest driver, Callisto, was much quicker than Mäkinen, over 14 seconds quicker on stage 3.
Vasen täys. Maali 120. No.
Stage 4 was the rally's first run through the 11.8 kilometre Lauka test. There was a lot more loose gravel on the stage than on the previous pair, and Gronholm, running first on the road, found he was clearing the path for the others.
Oikein eriylinypyn ehkä jouhee. 5.
He set a respectable time, 5 minutes 51.1 seconds, but suspected others would be quicker. Sure enough, 3 men did go faster, all driving Peugeots. One of those was Burns, who started the stage exactly a second down on his colleague.
30 easy right minus tight, 70 braking, K left, plus tightens maybe. 60, crest 60, flat right minus it. 20 easy left minus and easy left, 50 flat right and flat right, 60 flat right minus long.
So the rally now had a new leader, but the fastest time on stage 4 was set by Harry Rovanperä. It seemed as though he and Voito Cylinder had picked up exactly where they left off over 4 years ago.
Jatkaa nypyn yli vasen täys 5. Pidä oikein täys. Jatkaa pitkä vasen helppo plus sisältä auki 120. Lyhyt oikein täys. 7. Hae kivet. Lyhyt oikein helppo sisältä 3. Pitkä oikein tosi täys. 8. Hae maapylväs oikein miinus kirjeen sisältä.
With 206s setting all of the top 5 fastest times, Marco Martin's Ford Focus was the best of the rest, 6th quickest, despite the Estonian being unhappy with his tyre choice. But there was no denying that the first morning belonged to the Silver Bullets. Juuso Kukalista was 3rd fastest on the stage, with Sebastian Lindholm 5th. The leaderboard heading into service made interesting reading.
Richard, leading after 4 stages, you're showing the Finns who's the boss.
Well, at the moment, there's still a long way to go, but I'm trying hard, and the car's working really well, the notes are working really well, and I'm just concentrating like hell on the road. The speeds are so high that if you try and do anything stupid, I think it's very easy to make a mistake. So the main thing for me is just to keep that concentration.
Marcus, there's a Peugeot leading, but it's not you. What happened?
Nothing special. It's just quite difficult to be first on the road, and it's dry and loose gravel. So.
You're 4th overall. Are you surprised to be so much faster than so many of the works drivers?
Yes, I'm surprised because this is only a 2000 car and it's not a works car. But of course we have a clean road, but I'm surprised.
Tommy, you're way off the pace. What's the problem?
I don't know. It is. We try to find out. We ran maybe a little bit too soft tire compound. It was no wearing at all, but I don't know.
How can you do it? How can you get those valuable points, the 10 points, the 6 points, rather than pick up 1 or 2?
If you can answer that, you can drive.
The next pair of stages were 2 of the classics, with Mokipera, stage 5, drawing huge crowds. Let's get a driver's eye view of the stage from Marcus Gronholm's car.
Nyt hyppää 5 ja vaserin ehkä jouhee. Nyt huppaa. Hyppää sido. 7 ja hyppy täys miinus.
119 kilometers an hour over the jumps, but the stage time would again be beaten. Sadly for Colin McRae, he was slower. Just 7th fastest this time. It seemed there was nothing he could do about the Peugeot steamroller.
Left tightens to 5 plus opens over crest. 70.
McRae and Grist were still 5th, but Peter Solberg and Phil Mills were now within just 3 seconds of the Ford pair. Sainz and Moyer were equal 10th quickest. They were now strapping for 8th place with Jan Tuino and Petri Viavainen in a privately entered Focus. 1.2 seconds split the two Fords. But it was still an all-Peugeot affair at the head of the field. Richard Burns had been fastest on 2 of the 4 stages run so far, and attacked once again.
Slight right, 80. Rightish crest, 60 flat left plus in a bit, and slight left 70. Slight left over crest 40. Slight left, 60 right max, 80. Left max
and again he went fastest, extending his lead. But what would Rovanperä do?
Nyppy täystöltä 20. Nyppy keskeltä eri rytky 7. Nyppy vasen helpommin 7 lyppy.
Rovanperä was less than a second slower on the stage than Gronholm, but still held to second place by the narrowest of margins, 1/10 of a second, while 4th fastest and still 4th overall was Pukalisto.
Nyppy vähän oikein täys, 50 tosi lyhyt vasen täys ja 6 lyhyt oikein täys, 70 nyppy vasella täältä, pitkän pitkä oikein plus.
So, halfway through the day, this was how things stood. Peugeot drivers still held the first 4 places, with McRae and Solberg fighting for 5th and 6th. Sebastian Lindholm in yet another 2:06 was on exactly the same time as Solberg, while Mäkinen had now made it into the top 10. Stage 6 was the longest of the day, at nearly 25.5 kilometres. This time Colin McRae was 4th fastest, although he was still over 14 seconds slower than the stage winner.
And opens over crest, 70. 6 left minus, opens, 70. 6 crest, 50, turn 2 right. Went 70. 6 left minus, opens.
That stage winner once again was Burns, who extended his lead to over 6 seconds.
Crest 250. Crest 50, slight right over crest 40. Left max 80. Left max 20 flat left plus in 50. Slight right braking 20 flat left plus in 80. Medium right and medium right. Minus in.
Despite a puncture, Rovanperä was 2nd fastest, beating Gronholm by over 2 seconds to take a little of the pressure off again. But while the Peugeot domination continued, so did the subdued Subaru performance. Petter Solberg and Phil Mills were 6th fastest.
Black crest, 50, unseen, early 6 right plus of a crest, into cut, 6 left minus, 80, 6 left minus, tightens minus of a crest, slow 30.
Tommy Mäkinen and Kai Lindstrom, though, were only 9th quickest. Wisps of smoke inside the car hinting at some kind of problem. Easy winners of the high jump prize on the stage, though, were Alistair McRae and David Senior. But even as the fans showed their appreciation, the British pair realised that the Mitsubishi had been damaged by the landing.
How was that, Alistair? Yeah, okay, we landed very heavily off a jump near the finish and we've broken the rear damper, I would say, so maybe I lost a wee bit towards the end, but not so much.
But at least McRae was still going, unlike Juuso Pukalisto. His brilliant first drive for Peugeot came to a grinding halt on stage 6 when his transmission failed, leaving him no option but to park up and try to find the problem. Sadly for him, he couldn't, and so became the rally's first major retirement. At service after stage 6, a new rear screen awaited Burns' car, the only real problem to affect any of the remaining Peugeot trio.
Richard, you must be delighted with the double stage win.
Yeah, it was really just clean runs over those 2 stages, and I think Marcus is doing a very good job considering he's running first car on the road.
All the drivers seem to be in such a state of shock. Is it a question of waiting for the Peugeot drivers to make a mistake?
Well, it seems like they're playing with us. So I think more that all the other teams, Subaru and Ford, and everybody have to just work harder now. And of course, the driver have to be better also. You can't just complain about that the other team have been so much faster. So we have to work together, I think, to try to get things even better.
Stage 7 and another classic piece of Finnish road building, Ruimäki. For Gronholm, the fact that his teammate was beating him was hard enough to accept, but the fact that his teammate was English and not Finnish made it harder still. Using every inch of the road, he was clearly trying to fight back, but would again lose out. The fact that Colin McRae was just equal 10th fastest sounds as though the Scot had a nightmare run through Ruimäki, but the focus was only 7.4 seconds slower than the stage winner. This time it was Sainz's turn to lead the Ford challenge, and the fourth quickest time was enough to lift the Spaniard into 6th place, ahead of Sebastian Lundholm.
Por izquierda rasante, bota, abrirse uno, derecha rápida, pero menos se tierra ras. Con mucha fe para izquierda rápida rasante, para no ultrapasar.
But again it was Burns who set the fastest time, his 5th stage victory. It might have been only 0.2 of a second, but it was a victory all the same. Rovanperä was exactly a second slower than Burns, but it was yet another Peugeot 123. Solberg meanwhile edged fractionally closer to snatching Colin McRae's 4th place, but this was hardly the blistering drive by the Subarus that many had predicted. Clipping a tree also didn't help his time.
6 right plus 30, turn cut short, 1 left plus. Into 5 right, opens 60. Neat 3 right tightens, 2 plus, 3 out. Into 5 left.
But if Solberg was unhappy, Mäkinen was positively miserable. 9th fastest wasn't the kind of performance the 4-time rally winner had been expecting. Citroën, on the other hand, had come to Finland to learn, and the curve was a steep one. Thomas Rodstrom lay in 14th place after stage 7, while Sebastian Loeb was alone in 19th. Best of the 3-car Hyundai team was the accent of Freddie Loix, now in 10th place, and with one eye on Mäkinen's Subaru, now less than 5 seconds ahead. Stages 8 and 9 would round off the day's action in the forests and were repeats of stages 3 and 4. For once, Gronholm got the upper hand on Burns on stage 8, setting the fastest time and moving up into 2nd place. Burns, though, struck back on the next and won his 6th stage from 9. Rovanperä, meanwhile, grabbed his 2nd place back from Gronholm after the 2000 world champion suffered suspension problems on stage 9. 4th fastest on 8 and then 3rd on 9, Solberg ended the day in 4th place ahead of Colin McRae, and so it would be the Subaru which would be the best of the non-Peugeots as the crews headed back to Jyväskylä. There'd be no such good news as far as Mäkinen was concerned though. 10th fastest and then 11th, he'll start day 2 over 1 minute and 40 seconds down on the leader. For Ford it was Carlos Sainz who clearly enjoyed stages 8 and 9. Faster than McRae on both, Sainz returned to Jyväskylä in 6th place, but under 3 seconds behind his colleague. McRae, like many of the others, must have been wondering just what it would take to beat the Peugeots. He's 5th tonight, and will be scrapping with both Sainz and Solberg on day 2. A number of crews fell victim to stage 9, however, including Francois Duval in a Focus and his namesake Francois Delacour in the Mitsubishi, who both went out with suspension damage.
Richard leading at the end of day 1 with 6 stage wins now under your belt. What a great start.
Yeah, it's been a very good day. I think Marcus had a problem in that last stage, but I mean that's perfect for us. It gave us a chance to extend the lead a bit over him. We still have a big fight tomorrow, you know.
There seems to be 2 rallies going on in Finland this year, but at least you're leading the 2nd rally.
Yeah, that's at least a good thing. But you know, it's still a long way to go, and for me the feeling is good, and but still it's not so fun because I want to fight with the best.
This is how things look tonight. Peugeot's first, second and third, with Solberg, McRae and Seitz rounding off the top six. Sebastian Lindholm is seventh in a privately run 206, while both Mäkinen and Kankinen are in the unfamiliar position of chasing the leading pack on their home event. So, can the Peugeot steamroller continue on day two, or will running first on the road slow Richard Berg and the others to make up for lost time? Join us again tomorrow to find out. From day one of the rally in Finland, good night.